Without wasting your time, we are going to share top 5 best ASUS gaming monitor. The product links are in the description and in first comment. The number 5 on the list is ROG Strix. ROG Strix build quality meets expectations. The lid is metal while the rest is thick and sturdy plastic. The chassis is chock full of details, including a see-through diagonal on the right half that shows the internal frame. There's also what ASUS calls a customizable armor cap, the gray-colored embossed piece at the back left corner of our unit. It slides off and can be switched out for other designs. 2 armor caps are included, one opaque and one dark. Our final productivity test is Puget Systems Puget Bench for Photoshop, which uses the Creative Cloud version of Adobe's famous image editor to rate a performance for content creation and multimedia applications. It's an automated extension that executes a variety of general and accelerated Photoshop tasks, ranging from opening, rotating, resizing, and saving an image to applying masks, gradient fills and filters. There was no catching in these tests. Its memory commanded the field. Geekbench was its best showing, where it outscored the ASUS by and the previous generation silicon in the by a whopping. For Windows, we run both synthetic and real-world gaming tests. The former includes 2 direct gaming simulations from Night Raid, more modest, suitable for systems with integrated graphics, and Time, more demanding, suitable for gaming rigs with discrete. Also into that group is the cross-platform Benchmark Bench, which we use to gauge open performance. Moving on, our real-world gaming testing comes from the in-game benchmarks of Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Rainbow Six Siege, representing simulation, open-world action-adventure, and competitive sports shooter games, respectively. On laptops, Valhalla and Siege are run twice, Valhalla at medium and ultra-quality, Siege at low and ultra-quality, while is run once at ultra-quality settings, and for NVIDIA Force laptops, a second time with NVIDIA's performance-boosting anti-aliasing turned on. The ROG Strix scar mixed in with the others in both synthetic and real-world gaming, suggesting that its is the limiting factor, not its. That's not a bad thing, as barring the ASUS, the others use the theoretically stronger and formally I ran time spike with the ROG Strix scar turbo mode engaged and saw a gain to. I'll take that for pressing a button. I also ran the gaming benchmarks at the ROG Strix scar screen resolution, which you'd want to do for the sharpest picture. It was smooth sailing, averaging in Rainbow Six Siege, in Assassin's Creed, and as for thermals, the ROG Strix scar kept itself cool. This one pro image was taken after an hour playing Cyberpunk. The key cluster didn't exceed degrees Fahrenheit. We prefer to see all surfaces at or below degrees. The ROG Strix scar trails the others in screen brightness, though it's not dim as I noted above, and it has wider color coverage. What's really impressive is that this big incher gets over 7 hours of battery life. Much credit for that goes to its use of NVIDIA Advanced Optimus, which automatically switches to the Intel power-saving integrated graphics. While not gaming, sports players and anyone sensitive to input lag will appreciate that the ROG Strix scar has a switch to disable Optimus. Optimus has the potential to create input lag since it sends the NVIDIA output through the onboard Intel before it reaches the display. With the switch toggled through the Armory Crate app, the Intel is disabled and the NVIDIA outputs directly to the screen. Naturally, battery life will suffer like that, but you can easily re-enable Optimus if you plan to go unplugged. The number 4 on the list is ASUS Pro Art. The ASUS Pro Art, it's a similar story around back. The monitor's plastic chassis has a simple matte black look with a faux aluminum finish. In the center, it's not luxurious, but it's fine for an office or workstation. An ergonomically adjustable stand keeps the upright and level. The stand is clad in a rough plastic that feels inexpensive when handled. I also think the monitor stand base is slightly larger than it needs to be. To be short, it's not an attractive monitor. I don't think this is a serious problem given the monitor's low price and functional focus, but those who care what a monitor looks like when it's off will prefer a Dell or display. The port drives 4 ports, providing some hub functionality. The ports are placed on the rear and are a bit hard to access. The monitor lacks an Ethernet port or DisplayPort out, so it's not as capable as Dell's other video. Inputs include a pair of ports and DisplayPort. This is typical for a monitor in this price range. There's also an audio output. Menu controls are found on the front of the monitor. They don't work as well as the joystick system found on many modern monitors, and menu navigation feels slow. Measured color error came in at an average of in standard mode. Other image quality Presets are similar with a maximum average color error. That's a great result for an affordable professional monitor and usable for most content. Anything displayed on the will look lifelike and true to the creator's intent. This is useful for work of course, but also great for games and movies. The color accuracy is supported by a spot-on default gamma curve of and a default color temperature of just off my desired target of. This is a monitor as well with excellent sharpness and great text clarity. Everything looks clean and crisp, which is nice even when browsing the web. The number 3 on the list is ROG Swift. ROG Swift could have taken a super slim panel, slapped a stand on it, and called it a day, but that's not what you're getting here. Both models are certainly very slim in places, but there's a bit more of a bulge out back than you'd find on a similar size. That's to make room for the uprated internal cooling, which should help the panel pump out a maximum nits peak brightness and sustain it for longer without any burn-in. We certainly couldn't spot any ghosted logos or evidence of static images on show. The chassis also holds a decent set of speakers. 2 Harman-tuned drivers are paired with a woofer which promise more impactful sound than the weedy speakers usually found in desktop monitors. They sounded clear and volume got pretty high, although we were hardly listening in a controlled environment. We're expecting good levels of audio rather than something that'll make your soundbar redundant. From the front, both screens have real visual impact with display bezels that are practically non-existent and a slim stand that doesn't take up much room on a desk. Important, given the smaller model is still a significant in there's no height, rotate or swivel adjustment, but a welcome tilt range. Gaming gear manufacturers usually can't help themselves when it comes to slapping backlighting on everything, but hasn't gone mad here. That logo at the bottom center up, but that's about it, and you can turn it off through the menus if it's distracting. The 5-way joystick for controlling the on-screen display is sensibly placed so you don't have to stretch uncomfortably to reach it, but also bundles a remote control in the box. It'll be useful for console gamers not sat directly in front of the screen. What you won't find are any features like a tuner around back or smart streaming functions built in. That also means no motion smoothing or other image processing, which some might appreciate. The number 2 on the list is ProArt Display. ProArt Display, it's a similar story around back. The monitor's plastic chassis has a simple matte black look with a faux aluminum finish in the center. It's not luxurious, but it's fine for an office or workstation. An ergonomically adjustable stand keeps the upright and level. The stand is clad in a rough plastic that feels inexpensive when handled. I also think the monitor stand base is slightly larger than it needs to be. To be short, it's not an attractive monitor. I don't think this is a serious problem given the monitor's low price and functional focus, but those who care what a monitor looks like when it's off will prefer a Dell display. I can forgive this because the menus are crammed with options. There's numerous useful image quality presets including SNs. These are flanked by customization options for color hue, color temperature and gamma. This is where the focus on content creation becomes clear. A wide range of image quality options means you can tune this monitor to fit your words. Some monitors that are roughly equal in image quality, like the Dell, are less suited for pro users because they lack the flexibility. A pair of speakers top off the monitor's features. They're not great, but they're acceptable for podcasts or and certainly better than nothing. Color gamut comes in at and of Adobe. This monitor is not advertised as a wide color gamut display, and, indeed, its performance bears out this limitation. The monitor is suited for more narrow gamuts including and rec, but not a good choice if you need to work and. How much this matters depends on your need. If you need good coverage of, well, you probably already know it. The number 1 on the list is ASUS ROG Strix. The ASUS ROG Strix, when it comes to a high-priced gaming display like this one, picking the finest panel becomes much more challenging. We all know that the basic panel is the best of the 3 in terms of color fidelity, but it still falls short of the quick response times. On the other hand, neither of both panels are suitable for use in a high-end display, as they will offer poor color accuracy. Fortunately, thanks to the fast panel technology in this display, they were able to include a quick response time without sacrificing color fidelity. The fast panel is essentially a regular panel with faster response times, which is an excellent feature for gaming monitors since it allows manufacturers to maintain image quality at nice levels. This, on the other hand, is not a frequent feature in low-cost gaming displays, therefore it costs a little more to build than the others. So overall we can conclude that this panel is good news for people who wish to join the competitive scene with this monitor. They chose to incorporate another top-level function for the total display brightness, which came as no surprise to everyone. When it comes to higher-priced screens such as this one, we should anticipate a high brightness ratio. So it is with this display, since they have incorporated nothing more than the maximum ratio currently available for modern monitors, putting this display in the high-end category, has an overall brightness of which ensures that whether you're using the monitor throughout the day or if sunlight hits it, it won't let you down, allowing you to see all the displayed pictures clearly. The fast technology enables a response time of with little blurriness on this panel. This figure is fantastic for gaming, but it doesn't make much of a difference in everyday use, which is why manufacturer frequently choose higher numbers for casual displays. By the way, the command to screen speed is determined by the response time number. The lower the number, the better. Furthermore, this monitor has a normal refresh rate that can be overclocked to, which is not the greatest for this price range, but it may be the best depending on the display's resolution, which we'll discuss further in the image quality section.